I'm Edward, a 52-year-old man from New York, still reeling from the wreckage of my marriage to Catherine, who was 47 when we parted ways. We spent more than 2 decades, weaving a life together, one stitched with memories, raising our now 19-year-old son Ryan, who studies far away in another city. My business has always provided us with a steady, comfortable life, nothing extravagant, but enough to grant us peace of mind and freedom from financial worry in the heart of a bustling city. I met Catherine 25 years ago, one vivid Friday night in a packed Manhattan bar. The place was loud and bright, full of laughter and music. I remember the exact moment I saw her. She stood across the room, radiant and electric, her presence sparking something in me I couldn't ignore. I summoned whatever courage I had, walked up, and struck up a conversation. We connected instantly, her razor-sharp wit, that bold, brazen humor, and a fearless zest for life. It pulled me in like gravity. We talked for hours that night, oblivious to the crowd, the time, the world. From there, our story unfolded effortlessly. We dated, we dreamed, we built. Years later, under a sprawling oak tree in Central Park, I dropped to one knee and asked her to marry me. She said yes, and we sealed our vows in a small ceremony surrounded by those who mattered. As the years passed, my business thrived, and we carved out a life together, steady, secure, and filled with quiet contentment. But over time, something subtle and corrosive began to seep in. Catherine's circle of friends married to men with deep pockets and shallow values lived lavishly and loudly. Some of those women had already cycled through husbands, securing handsome divorce settlements and flaunting their independence like trophies. I urged Catherine to keep her distance, to be cautious, to see the emptiness beneath all that glitter. But she brushed off my worries, always promising me their choices would never sway her loyalty to me or our family. Some of those same women made advances toward me, overt, inappropriate ones. I never indulged them. I kept those moments locked away, not wanting to tarnish what we had. Catherine, when I finally mentioned it, laughed and assured me I had nothing to worry about. I believed her. I always believed her. When Catherine turned 45, I wanted to celebrate the way we always had, quietly, meaningfully, just the two of us. But she insisted on going out with her friends. It was supposedly a farewell for one of them moving away. I didn't argue. Though I felt a strange chill that night, I stayed home alone, nursing a glass of whiskey while scrolling through my phone. Then I saw at her Instagram live, a cake shaped like a man's genitals, iced in white. Laughter, cheering, flashes of phones capturing the moment, Catherine biting into it, her friends howling. Later, videos from a male strip club surfaced. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. When she came home, I confronted her. I told her that kind of behavior wasn't just inappropriate, it was humiliating, reckless, especially for a married woman with a teenage son who could stumble upon her posts. She swore it had been spontaneous, her friend's idea. But spontaneity ends at the door. She made a choice when she walked in. I spent the night in another room, unable to sleep, unable to quiet the anger and hurt echoing in my chest. The next morning, she was gone early, off to the gym like nothing happened. 2 weeks passed, heavy with silence and tension. I finally asked if she was still upset about the argument. She scoffed and accused me of jealousy, that I had no friends, that I was bitter because I couldn't host such vibrant parties. I was stunned. I reminded her that I avoided strip clubs out of respect for our marriage, and her actions had left me disgusted. I didn't wait for a reply. I walked out, letting the door speak the words I couldn't. Though we resumed talking, something had ruptured deep within us. I stopped watching her TikTok videos, which were growing popular. She filmed everything: our home, herself, her workouts, her thoughts. She had built a new audience, a new version of herself. On my birthday, she barely looked up from her phone. Ryan noticed and asked what was wrong with her. I made a joke about social media owning her now. We laughed, but inside, I was aching. Driving home that night, I finally pulled over. I asked her to step out. Under the dim streetlight, I told her I couldn't do this anymore. I asked her to be present, to give our family what we'd always had: attention, love, time. She stood there, cold and silent, then returned to the car without a word. That silence grew louder with each passing day. Her next birthday came. At midnight, I gifted her a diamond-studded gold bracelet. She kissed me softly, an automatic gesture, but by morning, she was dressed to go out. Her friends were waiting. She returned drunk, slurring and vague. I asked her directly if I still mattered. She had no answer. The next day, I suggested couples therapy, told her we were hanging by a thread. She nodded absently, grabbed her gym bag, and walked out the door. That day, I stayed home, determined to have a real conversation. When she returned with her friends in tow, I asked her to meet me in our bedroom. Finally, she sat down and admitted something I'd long feared. She'd been thinking of divorce for 2 years. She was ready to begin again. Fury boiled in me. I told her that her so-called friends were vultures, chasing rich men, selling themselves to lifestyles that would eat them alive. She fired back, saying she was done with living under anyone's rules. She wanted freedom, and she didn't need my pity. I told her if she left, she'd find herself surrounded by predators, not partners. She shrugged and said, "Let them. I'll be content." We didn't speak the rest of that night. The next day, she went online and told the world she had been planning her divorce for 2 years. She said she wanted her freedom and was finally taking it. Her words stung, not because they were new, but because they were public. I'd tried to bend, to salvage what we had. But she had already walked away in her heart long before she packed her things. She called me several times after that, saying she missed me and wanted to talk. I warned her once the papers were filed, there was no going back. She hung up. Weeks later, our divorce was finalized. Catherine moved out quietly. There were no goodbyes. Ryan struggled, though he admitted he'd sensed it coming for a long time. A few days later, Catherine posted a video saying she was coping, that she now saw tiny glimmers of light in her dark tunnel. Even on the hardest days, she said, "I know I'm closer to something new." She ended with, "Wish me luck finding that light." Then came another post, "Women don't need men to find happiness or start families." She claimed she was free, untouched by betrayal or abuse. A young, chiseled man appeared beside her in the next video, shirtless, tanned, showing off his abs. I laughed bitterly. My money seemed to be funding her new adventures, but I let it be. A few days passed. Then came another video this time. Catherine was crying. She'd ended things with the new man, she said. A friend later told me the truth. He had left her, and she was too ashamed to admit it. Not long after, during a business lunch, I spotted her at a nearby restaurant with yet another young man. I didn't stop. I didn't care anymore. Seeing her with someone else no longer cut into me. A friend later sent me a video, Catherine, scantily dressed, dancing provocatively at a party, even removing her top as her friends roared with laughter. I blocked the friend who sent it. She posted again, flaunting herself poolside in a bikini. This is 47. Then her Tinder profile full of suggestive photos made its way to my inbox. Another video followed, a different young man by her side, visibly uncomfortable, hiding beneath his hoodie. He wasn't there for love. He was there for a brief escape. Then, a different tone. In one of her later videos, Catherine admitted, "I made a choice. Do I regret it? I don't know. My marriage wasn't terrible. It was good. My husband loved me and I ruined it. I'm a mess. Edward warned me. I didn't listen." She looked lost, like someone realizing too late that the fire she chased had only burned bridges behind her. Then came the day she appeared at my office, unannounced. Her eyes were red. She begged to come home. I chuckled softly. "Home," I said. "I sold our house. I funded your freedom. There's no home left for you here." She asked if she could stay with me. I shook my head. "My dog sleeps in your spot now. A loyal Saint Bernard who doesn't trust strangers." "I'm not a stranger," she whispered. "To him, you are," I replied. "And to me, too." She left, crying. I didn't follow. Later, she posted about how hard it is to find love at her age, how the world she chased had grown cold and unwelcoming. I thought quietly to myself, you were warned. Starting over at 47 isn't a reinvention. It's a storm without shelter. Fruit left too long doesn't grow sweeter, it decays. You had everything, and you chose a fantasy over the solid, flawed but real life we built. As for me, I no longer chase what's already walked away. I may never marry again. In my 50s, I've learned to be content with the silence, my dogs. Loyalty is enough. When Ryan's ready, I'll hand him the keys to the business. I'll watch from a quiet distance, content with what's left of this life.